Of all the lies President Trump has told, and there have been a metric shit ton of them so far, earlier today, he told the biggest lie of all.
No politician in history has been treated worse or more unfairly.
No politician treated worse or more unfairly. Worse than Lincoln? Worse than Kennedy or Nelson Mandela? Worse than Romania's Nicolae Ceausescu? He and his wife faced the firing squad at the same time. Worse than Gaddafi? Before an angry mob shot him in the head, they beat him and raped him, then sodomized him with a bayonet, then dragged his lifeless corpse through the streets by horseback. Worse than Obama? Every Fox News rube questioned his legitimacy as president, insisting he wasn't a Christian American, but rather a Muslim from Kenya. Now, where would people get from the politician who's been treated the worst in history.
No politician in history has been treated worse or more unfairly.
It's time to be less stupid. Welcome to Be Less Stupid. I'm your host, John Hotchkiss. There is no time today for me to ask you to make a donation just because you like this show that I make and that getting it free somehow just doesn't feel right to you. So, let us get right to it. Today I have 3 pretty good showbiz stories about me that feature people I wrote comedy for: Bill Maher, Penn and Teller, and Craig Kilborn. 2 of the stories will be true, and 1 will be a lie. You will use your lie detecting skills to see if you can discern the fake story. But first, I hate being lied to. As for telling lies, well, no amount of waterboarding could get me to tell my wife that her dress, in fact, does make her ass look fat. No, for me, the worst part of being lied to is that lying doesn't look any different than telling the truth. And then, when you discover that someone has tricked you, you swear to get off Tinder. Well, that and lying erodes your confidence in reality. It breeds distrust, and it makes you paranoid. Here, take a look at a few of the recent lies, not from Trump, and watch their faces and see if you can tell the difference.
2 of our 4 helicopters were hit by ground fire, including the one I was in.
No kidding.
RPG and AK-47.
No.
Did you ever use blood transfusions to enhance your cycling performance?
Absolutely not.
You did not?
Absolutely not.
I'm not getting down on the ground, and then the guy pulled out his gun. He cocked it, put it to my forehead, and said, "Get down." And I was like, I put my hands up. I was like, whatever.
Even with the benefit of time, you still can't tell that those guys are lying just by looking at them. However, my faith in government, the stock market, which closed today, by the way, at its lowest number of the year, or the security that I feel are not diminished because Lance Armstrong oxygenates his blood with stem cells from dead prostitutes. Christ, it's no wonder he lied. Actually, you know what? You probably didn't know the specifics of doping. I should have broken that to you more gently. The president's lies, however, do erode our confidence in the institution of government. We feel less safe, less free. We worry about our money. And it's a slippery slope. Before you know it, America's reality mirrors Gary Busey's insanity. According to the latest research, people start lying as early as 6 months old when they fake cry in order to get fed. Trump's biographer reports that he lied while still in the womb. This is the biggest uterus. This is the biggest uterus ever. A 2011 study says that everyone lies, on average, as much as 5 times a day, and that number is even higher during the months that Cosmo magazine asks men, "How big is your penis?" Here in Hollywood, the average number of lies is nearly twice as much as the rest of the country, thanks to the question, are you a producer? Okay, so let's go through the reasons that people lie. First, people lie to themselves. It's a self-deception meant to inflate the ego. Part of your self-worth is wrapped up in how good you feel about yourself.
I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words.
FYI, as of today, Congress has some pretty good words too. The one I like, impeach. Some people lie in order to preserve or enhance their social standing. Not only do they want to feel good about themselves, it's vital that other people must also be in awe of them. Science calls this combination of being an attention whore and self-narcissism double-headed dildo syndrome. because you're getting fucked 2 different ways.
I made a speech. I looked out. The field it looked like 1 million, 1.5 million people.
Lies like the number of people at the inauguration are a tactic of deception that misrepresents the state of the world in order to exploit the expected cooperation received from a particular constituency. In other words, Trump's voters demand the biggest and the best. So in order to be their choice, a candidate has to give them the most and the biggest and the best. Then there are the lies that people tell to keep themselves out of trouble, for instance.
Look, he's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that.
People also lie in order to preserve or strengthen an alliance, say, with a group of angry white men whose votes you want during the presidential election.
But if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it.
Sometimes we tell lies for what we think is a pretty good reason, or in order to escape from an awkward situation. Finally, some people lie in order to appear to dominate their opponents, their peers, friends, business associates, other political leaders. There are people who derive their own self-worth by the significance and brilliance of their own achievements, even if they have to make those achievements up.
I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created.
Okay, so let's try an experiment. I'll tell you 3 things from my own career in showbiz. 2 of them will be real stories, things that actually happened to me. You see if you can figure out which is the lie. Number 1, during negotiations with a cable network for a TV series that I created, Penn & Teller's manager threatened to kill me twice. Number 2, 6 months after pulling my wife aside and saying, please let John come back to work for me, he'll always have a job on Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher fired me. And number 3, on The Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn, when it premiered, Craig was so nervous before the show, he threw up and a few of the chunks got on his shoes, so I lent him mine so that he would wear them. Now, before I tell you the answer, I want you to pause the video and lock in your own answer. If you think that A is the lie, that Penn & Teller's manager threatened to kill me, click share. If you think that B is the lie, that Bill Maher told my wife I would always have a job with him, then click like this post. If you think that C is the lie, that I lent Craig Kilborn my shoes the night his show premiered because he puked on his own, then click like our page. Then, to get the answer, go to factbox.tv/lies. Sign up for our mailing list so you'll be the first to get new episodes of Be Less Stupid. And then, right there on the bottom of that page, you will find the answer to the quiz. And now that you know the reasons why people lie, perhaps that you'll be better at spotting them. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time on Be Less Stupid.